Good morning, friends. Today, as I have said, we will start doing something on force. I hope you remember what is force. Force is that external cause which changes or tries to change the state of a body is a force. For example, if I am pushing a car, okay, what will happen? The car may not move, but does it mean that I am not applying force? I am applying force, but it is unable to change the state of the car. But if I push the car with a greater force, or maybe I call someone and ask me to help to push the car, in that case the car will start moving. That means its state has changed. So in both the cases, whether the car is moving or it is not moving, we are applying a force, and this is called as a force. So please remember it here clearly that external cause may change or may not change the state of the body. Okay, that is why I have used the word it changes or tries to change the state of the body. Okay, so I hope you are clear what is force. Any external cause, maybe a push, maybe you put some weight, maybe a gas pressure is applied, all these are force. Now, if only one force is acting on the body, it is a force. But if more than one forces are acting on the body, it is called as force system. Okay, got it? So mostly here we will be dealing with the force system. That means whatever we will be studying will have more than one force. Okay, so now let me tell you what are the different type of forces. First one is called as coplanar forces. Coplanar means all the forces which are acting on the body lie in the same plane, maybe XY plane. For example, you have a sheet of paper. You are pulling and your friend is also pulling the same sheet of paper. So that is, both the forces are on the same plane. Okay. But if a force is applied vertical to paper, that means along with your pulling and your friend pulling, some third friend tries to lift the paper, then it will be a non-coplanar force system. I hope you have understood. That means all the forces which are acting on the body, if they lie on the same plane, it is coplanar forces. If they do not lie on the same plane, that means it is spread along the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis also. Then it is a non-coplanar force system. Okay. Then another bifurcation of this force system is that is concurrent and non-concurrent force system. Concurrent means if all the forces act at the same point, or if their line of action, which I'll tell you later what it is, if the line of action of all the forces meet at a common point, then it is concurrent. And if they do not meet at a common point or they are acting from the different points of the body, then they are called as non-concurrent force. I hope you got it. So far I have told you force. What is a force system? That means more than one force is a force system. Coplanar and non-coplanar force system, concurrent and non-concurrent force system. Okay. So now let me see. This is the example which I have made for you. In this figure, at point D, a force dA is acting in this direction. From point D only, a force dB is acting in this direction. Okay. But a third force is acting from point E in this direction, CE. So here what happens? This force C is trying to move in this direction. Okay. But this, in which direction this is moving, this is called as line of action. And if I extend it, though it is acting from E, but if I extend it, it will meet at point D. Then it is called as concurrent force system. Got it? A force dA and force dB, or just in simple words, force A and force B. They both are concurrent because they are acting at the point D. So if there are only two forces A and B, in that case they are already concurrent because they are meeting or they are acting at the same point. But the force C, this is acting from a different point, but their line of action is same. In that case, it is called as concurrent force system, or in simple words, concurrent forces. Now take this example. Here I have shown four forces, say P1, P2, P3, P4. They are all acting from a different point, A, B, C and D. Okay. Here what we do, we extend their line of action and we see they do not meet at a common point. In that case, it is a non-concurrent force system. Just if you ignore my drawing, this force P3 and P4, if they meet at this point, say C, in my drawing there is a difference, but if it meets, then they will be called as concurrent forces. That means P4 and P3 will become concurrent, whereas the complete force system, if we consider all these four forces, they are non-concurrent forces. I hope you are clear what is concurrent force system and what is a non-concurrent force system. Okay, shall I proceed further? Okay. Now, when here I have said in mechanics, we will be studying the effect of force on the body. To understand or to explain the effect of force on the body, we must know three things. It is a must. Number one is magnitude. For magnitude, from common sense, you can say that if I apply a smaller amount of force, it will try to change the state, but it may not change. If I apply more force, there will be a certain point when it will change the state. ठीक है? So for changing the state, this magnitude also matters. Okay? I hope you got my point. The more the force, the more will be the change. And that force, whatever we are applying, it may be sufficient to change the state, may not be sufficient to change the state. But effect will increase as soon as we increase the magnitude of the force. Okay. Then second thing which we must know is line of action. I mean, in which direction it is moving. For example, I am pushing my laptop towards the screen or away from me. There will be a time when my computer will start moving towards the screen or it will move away from me. Okay? But if I apply the same from the sides, okay, so on the side from left to right, I am pushing my laptop. What will happen? The laptop will move or will try to move towards my right. Okay, it depends upon whether it will move or not move, will depend upon the magnitude of the force. Okay, got it? So these two things don't need much of the explanation. But when third thing which we know, should know, is the point of application. This will, I'll try to explain. This will need your certain brain to understand it. For example, there is a force P which is acting at a point A. Okay? That means this will try to push this body in this dotted line direction, that is A dash, in the direction of A dash. Okay? But if I am applying the same force at the point B, which is the edge of the body, then what will happen? It will not move the whole body towards the straight line direction, rather it will try to rotate the body. You can experience yourself. Place your mobile on the table, push it along the length or along the width of your mobile. It will try to move in a straight line. But if you push it from the edge, this will try to rotate your mobile. So point of application is also important. So for explaining the complete effect, you need to have magnitude, line of action and point of application. Got it? Just to explain a little further, as I have taken the example of my laptop, I am pushing from left to right. Okay? If my magnitude is sufficient enough to push, then it will move in the right direction. Okay? But the same point of application, if I change to edge, it will try to rotate my laptop. So if I know the magnitude, if I know the line of action, still we are not sure whether my laptop will move on the right direction or it will rotate. We will be clear only when we know the point of application also. So got it? So have I explained you? Okay. Now the third thing comes, or the next thing which I would like to tell you is the law of forces. There are a number of law of forces, but we will discuss them as and when the topic needs. For example, triangle of forces, parallelogram of forces, and all that. That will come to it. We will explain as and when we come to it. Okay? Here I will ask you to remember the two laws. One is law of action and reaction. That means every force which is applied on the body has a equal and opposite reaction. This is Newton's third law also. I hope you have learnt and you remember it, that every force has a action. Every action has a reaction which is equal and opposite to the applied force. Got it? This is law of action and reaction. This way we will be using in the mechanics. The second one is law of transmissibility of forces. That means the point of application can be changed along the line of action of the force without affecting any change which was happening in the earlier case. Just to explain you, say here in this figure I have said force P is being applied at A and its line of action is towards A dash. Okay, so instead of applying my force here at A, if I apply at the opposite face, action will be same, still the body will be moving along the A dash direction. Got it? Okay. Now here at point A, in original case I was pushing the body. Okay, but here I am pulling the body. This is the change, but for mechanics part this does not affect, since we are studying only the effect on the body. But if we are studying strength of mechanics, then it matters, because here it is a compressive force and here it is a tensile force. So for mechanics purpose this change does not affect, but for strength of material this will make a great difference. Hope I have clarified you. So with this some introduction to the force, I will close my today's class here and I will take up concurrent forces in the next class. Okay? So good day to you all.